Yes, welcome back to the Self and the Other Pod. As we all know, I'm your host, Mr. Nyagaka. And I was just chilling here getting some vitamin D from our glorious superstar, like the sun. And, I thought of doing a new series. This is the monologue, where I just chill and sit and chat. Anyway, June, new month. Actually, June is Men's Mental Health Month. And I don't even know when it first became officially Men's Mental Health. Because last time I checked, June was the month for the LGBTQ guys. But you all know men have to get in there and set things straight. Um, yeah, but I think it's quite interesting that for the past few years, decades or so, a lot of the attention has been shifting and people are becoming more aware of how much the physical reality is influenced by the mental reality. Or rather, the physical reality is a consequence of the mental reality. And mental health has become a huge thing. Even psychology itself is not really an old science. Psychology is almost the most recent science, one of. But yeah, people like Kina Carl Jung, Kina Freud, those are the guys, the fathers of modern psychology, if you might. If you're a psychologist right now, you're making bank. If I, if you didn't know what to do right now and you're going to study, be a psychologist. People just come and run to you, and you have to fix the problem. Because the famous psychologist question, not therapist, it's the same. I got no idea. But the famous question, how does that make you feel? Look at the structure of that question, feeling. So it is like how you feel is like more important than anything else. Because emotion, what is emotion? Because we all talk physically, we communicate, we have language. So we have physical language, which is this that I'm talking. The vibrations of the voice box. What vibrates something in there? Look for scientific term and come and tell me. But the vibration of this is what produces this communication. But there's another kind of vibration, a mental vibration, that is emotion. And that is how you talk to that, to the mind, because people have realized, or people have come to the conclusion that if you read books and whatnot, I'm seeing a common theme where people are stating that the world does not really exist. The mind is not really in the up here. Like people say, oh, in my mind here, but this is the brain. The brain and the mind, two different things. The brain is like the hardware, and the mind is like the software. The brain is the CPU for this medium of experience that you have, which is the body. But the mind is now the other, the software now, the what do you call the spiritual, the astral, that other thing that we cannot see, that we can only feel. Because even when you ask the question, how do you feel? It's so hard to express how you feel. Because it's a feeling. And this is a language, two different things at all. Physical reality and mental reality. So trying to intermarry those two, and we come up with so many different expressions of feelings, other than feeling good and feeling bad, feeling happy, feeling sad. Now you have in between things, feeling anxious, feeling stressed. Middle things here. Try to explain ourselves in so many different ways. but you can't really explain an emotion. You know, the only way to know it is to feel it. That is why psychologists are making bank, because when you go to a therapist or a psychologist, you feel like he's feeling you, he's connecting, because he or she can pick out the right words to trigger a certain vibration in the mind. You know, it vibrates here and then it vibrates here, and then you're like, "Ooh, I get it. I'm tuning into the same frequency." Anyway, but I think it's a nice shift, though. It kind of makes sense because it is proven. We have people reading books, people in YouTube and whatnot. So many people just talking about the same thing in so many different ways. Mm. But we all know the same saying, as a man thinketh, so is he. But as a man thinketh and feeleth, so is he. Because, yes, the thought is important, but you have to add a little bit of emotional salt to that steak of thought. And you get a nice meal, you know? So you need a thought, but then you add emotion, then it becomes an emotionally charged thought. And from the book, The Power of the Subconscious Mind, you know, whatever you impose on the subconscious mind for long enough, whatever you think on and on and on will eventually manifest itself in reality. That is a universal law that has been proven by countless people. It's something that you hear everywhere these days. And I think we live in the golden ages, because people usually think golden ages are past, but right now it is the best of times. I don't believe in Armageddon and the end of the world, because if you think about it, scientists say, how old is the Earth? 16 billion years. Like, this Earth is rotating. We have evidence of ancient civilizations, any civilizations that came and went, whole technologies that at this point we are asking ourselves, how did the Egyptians build the pyramid? You know, like, they had their whole other system, from writing on mud to writing on computers. And I think one day all of this will go. Now it will be a whole new civilization. Because think about a million years from now, because the Earth, like, probably will still be here. A million, because a million in the span of the Earth is insignificant. So our minds cannot fathom that far. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, we're talking about, like, the emotionally charged thoughts and whatnot. So, being Men's Mental Health Month, I encourage you to think positively charged thoughts. Let your thoughts feel good. And how do you do that? I think by envisioning scenarios by which your reality has already been, it has already happened, you know, like someone congratulating you, being like, oh, like, if you want a good job, you'll be like, oh, it's like, congrats for the good job. If you want, like $1 million, you'll be like, oh, congrats for the million. Like, someone close to you, because people who are close to you are the people who trigger emotion. So you have to envision it and feel it, like someone is, like, congratulating you or some sort, or you being grateful. You know, that feeling of, like, this is nice. Feel that. This is me just telling myself again. This is just a monologue. So when my physical reality manifests itself here, you, the viewer, will see. So this is experiment 2.0. But we were talking about that other book on my pod, The Power of the Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy. So I'll continue reading it, and I will come with feedback. Yeah. So again, see you when you see me. and think good thoughts, man. Because there's so many bad thoughts. There's so many bad thoughts that come because I don't think we have thoughts in an essence. Thoughts just happen to us. It is like they just happen. Think of yourself as a witness in your own mind. You know, sit back and look at the thoughts pass. Look at the bad thoughts. Look at the good thoughts. Do not hold. Do not refrain. Just look at them. And then you will realize, oh, these thoughts just happen. Ideas just come and ideas just go. So you have to prompt, good thoughts. Because I think when we were looking at the book, The History of Modern Philosophy, I think it was Michel de Montaigne, some French guy, and Pierre Charon. It was a segment on that. But it talks about God being the author of everything. God being the author of good and the author of bad, because in the positive there is the negative. It is the duality or the paradox of life. But it is because there's negative moments that the positive moments make themselves more prominent. And like everyone knows this. It is not something that no one knows. Like you feel good today, you feel bad tomorrow. So you have to prompt the feel good, man. As much as you can. As much as you can, you prompt yourself, man. Feel good, feel good. Think positive, man, because hey, an eclipse might appear, and that is not good. We all know when an eclipse happens. There's this horror movie I watched, but they always wait for the eclipse, and then eclipse happens. The horror comes. Even in Devil May Cry, for Agasax to resurrect, you need an eclipse. And who is Agasax? Agasax is the god of chaos. The psychology of these animations are crazy. But yeah, do not get to a point where Agasax rises. Here it is the realm of Mandas. Anyway, so yeah, man, don't get to the eclipse. Positive thoughts a lot. And I will see you when you see me. Because you'll definitely see me again. Peace.